Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another casted game. Welcome. This is the Esoc Premier League number 4, week number 1 between the Hudson Bay Bigs and the Greedier Management Company. We got Minimalt 21 playing here as the Dutch in the map. Caroline Lakes in the colour blue, spawning to the western map. He's playing for the Hudson Bay Bigs. CMC's representative for this game is Tabben. He's also playing Dutch in the colour red, spawning to the east of the map. So Game 1 in this first series of the Premier League I'm casting is a Dutch mirror on Caroline Lakes. Excellent. Absolutely love that. Minimalt been playing quite a lot of Age of Empires 3 recently focusing on quite a lot of China gameplay. So to see him open up with Dutch here may be a sign that he wants to save his strongest Civ pick for later down into the series. I don't blame him for that. He's up against a very strong opponent. And of course, that opponent is DJ Tabben here. He's absolutely jacked and one of the strongest players in the New World Championship 2019, and took a little bit of a break early DE, I think, but has certainly been playing quite a bit of Age of Empires 3 ever since, and recently been streaming a lot in the community and been putting in many hours, and both these players have actually been playing lots and lots of content and streaming quite a bit as well, so make sure you check out their channels. Both Minimalt21 and Tabben's channels are linked in the description below, so give those players a fair shout. Both players here looking to try and get a 15 vil age up, trying to maximise that gold treasures they can get in age 1. I'm very surprised that Tabben has kind of like declined in his base this 40 gold by the pikeman, of 45 wood treasure guard by the clefet. I'm kind of surprised that not one of those treasures were crack shotted in time. It's easy just to get one crack shot off and move on, and actually the pikeman, it's easy just to take on the explorer, maybe not even pick it up, get the house, build a villager there to pick up the treasure back on the gold mine, and just minimise the amount of gold you have to mine in the first age is the kind of the order of the day when playing these civs. Yeah, both players going for the 15 vil age up here. Both players perfect gold micro as well. Look at that. It's only Tabben. Oh, he's got one extra gold on top. How disappointing to have that one extra gold. I'm sure he'll sort that out for the next game, but you can see that Tabben has already kind of like managed to get some of these wood treasures going in base. I'm sure he's going to work back the in-base clefet treasure as well, just to help this wood gather rate to get that first bank down in transition. Right, let's have a look at players' decks. We're going to start with Tabben on the right side. His deck here, 1 vs 1 standard land, looking pretty standard here. No Musketeer mercenaries, the Irish Brigadiers, no Highwaymen. Does have Bosniaks in the third age, I do notice, but there's a fort in deck as well. Only one skirmisher card, and Halberdiers make an appearance. Let's have a look at Minimalt's deck. Maybe Minimalt here, potentially playing possibly off standard here, and look at his deck here. No food crates in the second age. Does have the advanced church. Third age has no fort. I'm possibly seeing a potential FI idea here from Minimalt. There's no 1,000 food in the third age, which is also very nice to get up to the next stage if he wanted to do so. So I'm kind of feeling that both players are likely to drift towards the third age, play from there. But if he goes to later game in the fourth age, Minimalt has that late game firepower in his deck. The 14 skirmishes, the 17 raiders, as well as tulip speculation, 25% eco for your banks. And both players sharing heavy cannons and factories. Other things to note on this map, it is a trading post line, 2 TP slots each. I believe they're independent lines. If you upgrade one, it does not upgrade the other. We do see the House of Vaza here taking an appearance as one of our natives. And I do actually see the envoy here from Tabben sitting on the House of Vaza. Tabben also taking the top one as well. And there we go. House of Vaza has actually been built as we speak behind this. I don't imagine we're going to see many Royal Arquebusiers being made. I believe this is purely an economic bonus. We've got to remember they have the top big button ability, or top technology, 250 food, 300 wood for 4 top wagons. So essentially, once you include the house, the trading post cost into the equation, you're spending 400 wood to get 400 wood worth of houses. Except for these houses are eco houses. They provide resources and boost your economy along, XP being built as well. So they pay them back. maybe getting them super early is not ideal in the Dutch boom, but also it starts the clock on the House of Vasa big button, which increases villager gather rate by 25%, also increases buildings gather rate by 10%, which when you're playing as the Dutch, that is certainly a not insignificant portion. Some people would say that for the Dutch House of Vasa is absolutely amazing, but realistically it's a bit weaker because most of you have less villagers to gather at 25%, and yes, your buildings do gather at 10% faster, but actually, you know, a civ with many villagers, I'm thinking Japan with multiple 4 vill shipments, the Brits, Spain, they have vills, Ottoman have vill shipments, they can really rinse out House of Vasa big button more than the Dutch. So Torque Wagon big button coming in here from Tabben. Tabben notoriously bad for his torque placements. I just keep on seeing it on streams, and I actually really want to see how many of these torps are in place. These two look like absolute fine place. I'm surprised they're all sat in base. I'm expecting to see Minimalt here also looking to go Torque Wagon. Yep, Hanseatic League is being researched, but we do see Stable opening here. Stable, well, there is another bank there, so he's gone for the bank. He's on bank on 400 wood. Maybe he's already squeezed in 700 wood and is now sending in another shipment. There's just lots going on here. So yeah, 700 wood to get the Torque Wagons and a stable down. Bank being built on the 400 resources. This torp is a sad torp. It's not gathering the gold. So this torp might as well be placed here, there, anywhere. And yeah, when you're paying for something, you kind of want it to be full whack. And there's no hunted animals nearby as well. So only 0.3 food per second, so that is what we call in the business a sad torp. These torps are good torps, they're being put on, and there's actually a dead moose here nearby as well, so that's going good. And this mini morp torp as well, 5 trees as well, 0.25 wood per second. That is a happy torp. So Swedish players or anybody who's playing into or playing with, shall I say, the House of Vasa, take notice. That's a happy torp. That's a happy torp. This is just a shocker. Utterly at this level to misplace a torp like that when you're not even under any pressure. Like, I don't know where the final torp is. I only see 3 torps. There's one out here. Oh, this is a sad torp as well. Oh, Tabben, the sad torp player. Only 2 torps actually on gold mines, and you know it's just not. It's not ideal, this situation. Both players here going for cav openings here. Tabben with double cav batches, looking to send in 8 pikes, but possibly aging up here. Minimalt having to retreat, calls Minutemen, turn around, get the snaring, and actually overall this fight should go Minimalt's favour with the Minutemen firing. If Tabben stays around, he knows he just wants to get away, he doesn't want to fight this, he's just going to run. There's just no need for this. But Minimalt is an experienced torp builder, it seems. Tabben's got a long way to learn in the art of playing Sweden, which is good. Like I'd rather have players who are pretty bad at playing Sweden than being really good at Sweden, because otherwise, who's going to play Dutch if everyone plays Sweden? So, yeah. Jokes aside, the build order here now, 700 gold being sent in by Tabben to try and jump to the next stage. That's his 5th bank coming down as well. So, with all the extra wood being sent to get the Hanseatic League, sending in the bank wagons, 600 wood as well, and the XP from the torps, and the extra banks, and the delayedness of getting hussars and XP that gives, Tabben's able to squeeze an additional shipment of 700 gold to jump to the next stage. And you know, both these players have just got incredible ecos. Actually, only 4 banks here from Minimalt, thinking of sending 8 pikes, but he's actually going to age up a little bit later, but saves the shipment crucially, and that shipment likely to be maybe 9 Reuters to kick us off in the next stage. Down a bank as well. Does have hunting dogs, but no steel traps. A lot of wood choppers here from Tabben. They're only on gangster at the moment. He may want to change that. Sending in the advanced church. Church coming down. 5 banks ready to go. He should have enough resources to call Stradiots earlier on. But the Stradiots from the church is just 5 of them. It's not a super OP shipment. Only if Tabben's got ideas of linking this either with the coffee trade or the Age 4 Musketeers, where we see good use from this card. So there we go, coffee trade. Actually going really early coffee trades, looking to go for banks number 6 and 7. Yeah, the only thing is, I just feel a bit iffy, because the thing is with going coffee trade, all your units are just slower. So now the Hussars at 6.07 speed, the Reuters would be like 6.4 maybe. really slow. Yeah, 6.75 speed here for Minimalt Hussars, and that's almost a whole speed point, and that is not an insignificant amount. That is actually quite... That will have a moment in this game where you're thinking, hang on a minute. Minimalt's faster army is actually going to get some good results, and it will pay off soon. Church coming down here for Minimalt. No advanced Church here from Minimalt just yet. He might try to squeeze that card in at a later point, but open up with 9 Reuters. Making Reuters. Reuters at 7.25. There's nothing here to catch up with Minimalt's Reuters, so this is one of the problems that tabben is about to get himself into if he carries on. Well, when I say carries on, he's already stuck in this way of playing and thinking. Stradiot's yet to be caught. There's potential here where you said in advanced Church, if you want to do like a play like Maito really enjoys playing, and that is going for the FI and training the blue guards while sending heavy cannons. Order of Asa here, called here for tabben, and I'm sure that Minimalt looking to call... Has Minimalt called Order of Asa as well? I think both players have called their Orders of Asa at the same time. I think both players have prompted each other to call their Order of Asa big buttons. So momentarily, we've got some really strong income village. 1.3 food there. There's just significant. Right, Order of Asa is over. Still, Minimalt actually not quite on steel traps, which is not ideal in the situation. The wood price at the moment 150, and it's kind of that point where it's really awkward, where you can't actually go anymore buying the market when the price is so high. But there's a lot of Reuters here. The slow speed of the Hussars, you can really feel it. Hussars moving into block. Skirm's going to turn onto the Reuters. And I think in terms of army size here, the Minimalt should have the slight edge. But I do note Colonial Hussars versus Vet Hussars here at tabben. But even with like the army being snared, the problem is that with everything slowing down, it's really hard to move in and actually go into units. And all I'm just seeing is tabben's army just getting cut down here and destroyed because they can't get onto their targets quick enough. Great, you have 2 extra banks, but the problem is, look at this. The Hussars, they're currently at 3.95 because they're in combat. They're just moving so slow. And yeah, that's just more speed here for Minimalt. The reinforcements are hitting the floor quicker. Tabben's Hussars, they could have gotten to battle, but they're like, too late now. And, okay, the fight there went in Minimalt's favour, and with now a Skirm Reuter play and decent positioning on the map, he can push forward and try and get some rewards from his gameplay. Villagers exposed on the front line. They do have their great coats, but decent size, about 25 Skirms. Turn up, you expect him to lose a couple. Well, you expect him to lose a couple, but not for tabben. He's jacked. He's managed to pull those villas back in. And it's finally poised. Tabben here going pure cavalry here. 19 Reuters, 10 Huss. But there's no cav combat. Stradiot's being called. Explorer has been revived. And sometimes that's a bit of a showcase to your opponent that you're going for this. But I'm just worried. Oh no. Many more situations to the next stage. He's only got 1 Huss. He's only got 10 Reuters. Oh no. Oh, Minimalt, he's seen quickly just split your skirms up anywhere, do anything and anywhere, your bows, everything, and oh, he doesn't know what to do. He's just going to try and focus the Reuters on like cav one at a time. Oh, this is unfortunate. You enter the 4th age and lose all your skirms, and oh, does Minimalt know about the stable play? He sees double stables, and he hasn't reinforced with many more Reuters, which, you know, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. I think Minimalt here. Well, he's going to the next stage with 2 cards. I guess he can go 17 Reuter, 2 heavy cannons, and play Advanced Church being called. Looking for the Musketeers. So once the age up does come in, should be able to. Bit of a shame here, mining the same mine that your Torp is on. Not allowing that to naturally decay. Moment pause in the game. Double actual skirms coming out. 12 vet skirms. They are still useful versus the Reuters. They still have a role to play. The only problem is that there's Stradiot's, there's Huss, there's movement here, there's fluidity in this army, and tabben as a result of that cleanup feels pretty comfortable. I'm sure tabben's aging up as well. No, not even close. He's just full massing, and now that he's actually seen Minimalt has aged up to the next stage, he's just going to try and move in. The only problem is that Minimalt's aged up with 1,000 gold. I do like the 5 vil, 400 gold. I see the point here, or should I say 500 gold 4 vil, is that now, actually, with this gold investment, Musketeers will get called very soon. Does call 5 Reuters, 2,000 gold stacked. The musketeers are on the way. The army's nearby, and the thing is, those musketeers pop out really, really quick. Those Reuters will move in. Tabben must know that the musketeers on the way. It's just one of the play styles in the playbook for Dutchers to go. And there's 17 Reuters shipment as well. This is debate and Explorer caught the minute the blue guards on the field as well, and 17 Reuters from the town centre. There's so many units here from Minimalt. 34 Reuters, 28 blue guards, and Tabben. He's jacked, but he's not jacked up. He's just got trapped here in Dutch base. He's fighting veteran dragoons versus guard musketeers. You cannot take that fight. And Tabben is just losing his fight horrendously. Okay, he does have his cav combat on his Reuters. They are stronger, but you know, it's 32 Reuters here for Tabben. Minimalt 25, but he's still got 25 guard musks. These musketeers can just turn around and notice how, yes, advanced church has come in, but he's still not gone for coffee trade. He doesn't need the extra banks. He wants movement speed. Okay, yeah, Tabben with 7 banks. Okay, he does have the 7 banks, so he has that extra economy. 6.52 Reuters. They'll never get away from the 7.25 here, and if they're turning around and fighting, there's actually a decent chance that the infantry catches up relatively as well. But maybe Minimalt doesn't want to take too many fights. That XP though, looking good. First factory has now been sent. Order of Asa again for Mini. I wonder if Tabben will call it soon. Probably. I think both players have called it. It's always super confusing when both players have Vasa, because maybe there might be a potential spectator. I know that Minimalt's called it and Tabben hasn't called it. It's recharging. Okay, so yeah, but Musketeers, Reuters charging. There is a really nice Reuter raid behind to be distracted. That is a good play. There are skirms back in base to receive, and maybe another shipment here from Minimalt. Would he send skirms? Nah, he'll just send a factory. I think you've got to send a factory at this point. You've got enough military to do damage, and it will take a long time for heavy cannons to cross the map. But look at his vills. Look at his vills exposed, and the musketeers are just going straight in. There's nothing here to actually kill the musks. He's happy just to run in. There's no artillery. The skirm mass is really low. Okay, Tabben's just called his explorer. Minutemen being called, but yeah, H2 Minutemen here versus guard musks. He is aging up, but the thing is, he's aging up probably with the gold. Yeah. Oh, King's musketeers going for the skirmishes. Yeah, there's no way for him to get the blue guards himself, and that's kind of what he urgently needs to defeat these blue guards. Tabben leading those forces of Minimalt away. Nice play. I think Minimalt, if he kind of, well, he hasn't got enough siege to deal with all this stuff, so I guess he's stuck. 35 Reuters, a couple of villas up the way. 8 skirms will hit the field from the King's Musketeer age up. Skirm reinforcing here for Minimalt, and that will do very well versus the Reuters. Yeah, there's the skirms. Heavy cannons straight away from Tabben. Reuters engaged. They don't have their ranged cavalry cargo. And actually, the Explorer here from Minimalt getting involved, tanking some damage. And Bill's tanking on the Reuters. Oh, this isn't looking great here for Tabben. I mean, it's all right, but you know, now the Vills are going to, those musks going to enjoy those Vills a little bit. The Reuters have to back off. And yeah, only 8 veteran skirmishers is not enough versus Minimalt's superior skirmisher mass, which he's still making, by the way. I think Minimalt is still aware that Tabben can go into musketeers themselves. We've got to be very careful with that. Obviously, heavy cannon here's to play. Bosniak's being called here for Tabben after the heavy cannons. He's not thinking of factories. He's going straight for mercenaries. And there's the rate. There's the heavy cannons. Is he going to do it? If you've got an opportunity, that's his timing. But he's just going to back. But yeah, still a load of Reuter kills available. Musks are just chilling out somewhere else, but the heavy cannons are away from the front line. More villas going down here. Tabben 33 villagers. Minimal's on 34, so I don't know where this villagers discrepancies come from. And I remember that Minimal's still on 4 banks. Tabben's on 7. Where's his 5th bank here from? Thingy, okay, he's got 1 factory on wood, 1 factory on gold, but both are now on gold. What is Minimalt trying to do? He's trying to research upgraded gold. He just wants loads and loads of gold income. It's all fine, but his architect's not looking good. Only now getting steel traps. Maybe soon thinking about log flume as well. If he's not actually researching it from the thing. Okay, now he's going into water power and the wood. I was wondering why he's all going for the gold at that point. And you might head and score. Tabben's, you know, not too far behind. I think some of the score here from Minimalt is researching guard musketeers. it's having the factories down. He's down in banks. The villagers are roughly the same. He does have guards, skirms, heavy cannons out to defend as well. And Minimalt does have 14 skirmishes. There's some heavy cannons unpacking there. Some Bosniaks diving in. The Bosniaks about to kill off a heavy cannon. That's huge. Okay, one does go down. And there's 2 heavy cannons here, pretty much uncontested. The Reuters are picking this off as well. So overall, a pretty good opening tussle there. And Minimalt just has to run. He cannot stand up to 2 heavy cannons who are aiming at the skirmishes. He has to abandon this and back out. Minimalt triple producing skirmishes. Reuters, why are you standing there? He's got to run. Get out of the range of the heavy cannons, which are moving at 1.26 speed because of coffee trade. The speed here really hurting tabben all this game. There's a arsenal down here for Minimalt, but no technologies researched as of yet. One stable here. No Caribbean Reuters. Looking at his resources, he may be thinking about getting upgraded guard Reuters. Musketeers raiding around. I reckon tabben's lost some vills here. 37. Maybe he's not lost any more than I thought there would be, but he's going to get another 3 here, looks like. Reuters moving in to try and get a heavy cannon. You got to kill this in melee mode. He does actually, and the fact that no Reuters here to block. If this heavy cannon goes down, there's nothing to challenge the guard skirmishers here to engage with the veteran Reuters. And actually, you know, tabben now is the point of the game where the guard musketeers are kind of pointless because these units, they're guard, and once Minimalt sees that there are musketeers on the field here from tabben, if he does go for that, he can just call in counter infantry rifling from the arsenal. Another Order of Arsa. Classic. Very nice. First factory coming down. Another racks here from tabben. The Royal Embassy was made in base here for tabben, but I don't actually really think anything's been produced from it. Okay, I'm sure he's got the technologies of... Well, no, according to this, he hasn't. According to this, he hasn't. So he hasn't got the Golden Liberty, Gold Reduction, Unit HP, and Wing to SAR combat. They're just being pushed off the gold mine. Gold mine just finished as well, so they're kind of idle. Guard Musk still taking some good trades, and I think the story of this game so far is just that all these games and trades so far here for Minimalt have just gone incredibly well. More vills. More vills. There's 4 vills here just chilling, and Minimalt's moving in. He's hustling these vills. Remember, these are not coffee trade vills. He can catch up. There we go. Yeah, they're getting picked off. On the top side, we do see the Stratiops called here from Minimalt, getting a little bit of extra cavalry raiding the gold mines. He knows that there's villas down here. They've all been cleaned. So he kind of wants to go to the top. And look at that. The Stratiops are waiting for the villagers. What a play there by Minimalt. Counter raid here from tabben, trying to get some raiding in on the animals, on the mines, getting some work done. But nothing's doing too much. Okay, a lot of villas having to run away here, actually. So... certainly getting some sort of response. 210 HP. Looks like that the Order of Vasa, or the Vasa HP tech has been researched here for Minimalt. That's great to see. Getting in some Colv, soon to be Colv Royals, I assume. I think Minimalt's just thinking, I've got a lot of skirmishers here. Tabben's got a lot of Reuters. It's only natural that tabben continuously makes heavy cannons here from factories, and that's probably the only kind of counterplay. A lot of vills running away. He knows that Reuters are nearby. The thing is, though, if tabben actually sees for that gold mine, has only got 550 gold in it remaining, he would hunt for those vills, but he didn't. He didn't go chasing. He didn't feel inquisitive enough. Mainly because he can see this huge army chasing him, and there's Colvs in it as well. What does tabben do? There's Colvs in the army. He has to right-click the Colvs with his Reuters, but he'd better take some heavy losses as a result, probably. Colvs are a bit out of place, so they don't know where to run. So one does unpack, and they does start to fire their cannon, and oh, that's a shot. Heavy cannon losing quite a lot of damage. Another shot incoming. Picks it off. But the Reuters, they're all gone down. The skirmishers are melting them. Hot knife through butter, and they fall over. Another heavy cannon comes out. But damn, so many vills. 21 vills versus Minimalt's 38. These factories here for Minimalt or tabben are on artillery, where Minimalt's is on economy. And as long as you basically kill the heavy cannons for pretty cost-effective trades, then it's, you know, it's not great. It's good. I mean, obviously heavy cannons are good, but they have to work. And, you know, having one heavy cannon unprotected is risky. But that's a lot of damage there. 2 kills, a lot of splash. Minimalt needs to close this game off safely, but He's at risk of losing a lot of skirms here. Rota's moving to protect, and skirms backing off. Lock on, lock on. There's a lock on. That's another double kill. So heavy cannons picked off 5, but I see Vils at the top. Oh my god. There's the villagers are crossing each other. It's a merchants republic. They're trading among each other and best friends, but it's not happening. That's a 5 kill there by the heavy cannon. But the thing is, guard musks killing villagers. I'm struggling to find out what is the more important part in the game. Tabben losing his remaining army, or Tabben losing a lot of Vils on the top side. Vils do actually manage to get out of there. That's a good call in the end instead of staying and fight. But out of 10 over villagers starting, he's only running away with 4. There's a fort wagon here by Tabben. I mean, it could get up. There's no real siege here, and maybe Minimalt might try and siege it down, but actually baits the heavy cannon volleys. 10 villagers here for Tabben, or which I said 11, soon to be 12 versus Minimalt's 38. Closing the game off very, very well, Minimalt. And I gotta say, it's 2 different strategies, whether you go coffee trade, bank eco, or you don't go coffee trade, and maybe save those resources for the faster age up, as we saw here for Minimalt. Get into that 4th age, get into time in the musketeers. That was looking dodgy. Not for a long time, it was looking touch and go. Culverin's getting massive splash damage on both these heavy cannons. Some good voice, and this is still relatively unchallenged. There's no artillery here from Tabben to deal with Culverin. He's not looking to go into Culverin play himself. He's just chasing. The fort's up. Minimalt's not biting. Tabben's retreating. And Minimalt just moves back and booms. Tabben resigns. He sees that essentially Minimalt has got the map, he's got the army, and he can't force a mistake. And he knows that Minimalt will just return with another 5 culverins to kill the heavy cannons and eventually lane siege the Dutch. So game number 1 there. It is Play All 5 series as well. Play All 5 got mentioned that. Going towards Minimalt, which I believe... Oh, I haven't got my scoreboard set up correctly. Yep, there it is. 1-0 Minimalt. Really good game. Let's have a quick look at that post game. I'll look at the villagers, because quite a lot happened, and I think Minimalt just cutting Vils, just a little bit of idle time. Nothing too major, really. Just a little bits here and there. Continuous villager production here from Tabben throughout age 3, while Minimalt was cutting a little bit of Vils to get resource station to age 4, age and during the time of age 4, and then fighting underneath his town centre, really prioritising the blue guard upgrade or the musketeers and other units. So a lot of Vils went down, and a lot of eco here for Tabben was better because of the 7 banks. Remember, the 2 sad torps was really sad there from Tabben, unfortunately. It's a shame. So yeah, Tabben's eco looking pretty good early on. Clams away. Mr. Military. Look at that fight in Tabben, in Minimalt's base. The blue guards come out, the 17 Reuters come out. What a great card 17 Reuters is, by the way. Shout out to that. 80 mil pop. Couple units getting picked off by town centre and skirmisher fire. And then it just collapses. And at that moment in time, Minimalt's dictating the pace of the game. He's got fast units as well. And Tabben's having to always play catch up. Here, Minimalt did lose a lot of skirmishes, remember. There's a lot of skirms getting cleaned up by... I can't remember actually where it was. It was just Hussars, or it was the Bosniak timing. Maybe, yeah, Bosniaks came in. And then all the Reuters blocking went down, and then skirms went down. But the follow-up behind it was pretty safe. More Reuters being trained, upgraded to guard Reuters, a couple musks raiding around, and then just the heavy cannons starting to make the culverins and just solidifying that position with stronger guard units. The damage at this point had already been done. If we look at kind of, let's say, 20 minutes when the military is starting to diverge again, the villager population, yeah, it's relatively even. But the factories here for Minimalt were already up, and if we look at the economy, those incomes were drastically closing. So Minimalt could continuously pump more and more resources into the army than Tabben, and that's why he fell behind. And that's how the game ended. And Minimalt taking the first game here in this Play All 5 series here for Hudson Bay Bigs. Make sure to stick around, like and subscribe if you want to catch up to the next 4 games in this Play All 5 series. Will be casted here and available on the YouTube channel, so enjoy those, stick around, and I'll see you later. Good games.